Today's tech news moves fast, but understanding it shouldn't be hard. That's why Snarful Solutions Group brings you Connecting the Dots, where we break down what's happening in tech and why it matters to you. Now, let's dive in with your hosts.
Hello and welcome to Connecting the Dots. It's Monday, November 3rd, 2025, and we're coming to you live from Sacramento, California.
Great to be here. Let's connect some dots today.
Absolutely. First up, our quick morning check-in. Here in Sacramento, it's looking like another beautiful day. Sunny skies, high around 73 degrees Fahrenheit. Pretty nice for early November.
Wish I could say the same everywhere. Nationally, it's a bit more dramatic. There's a cold front barreling through the Great Lakes in the northeast, so expect some chill there.
Okay.
And out west, closer to us, but more north, the Pacific Northwest, Washington, Oregon, even Northern California and the Sierra Nevada, they're bracing for a pretty strong atmospheric river midweek. So, yeah, lots happening.
Definitely a tale of two coasts there. All right, let's look at the markets quickly. Things are, a little shaky today, but let's try to stay optimistic, right?
Always. What are we seeing?
The Dow Jones is down about 172 points. That's roughly 0.36%. But looking weekly, it's actually up slightly, about a quarter percent.
Okay, so not panic stations yet.
No, not at all. S&P 500 is pretty similar, down about 19 points today, or 0.28%, but also slightly up, 0.26% for the week.
Gotcha.
Bitcoin, though, that's where the bigger volatility is. It dropped significantly today, over $3,000, which is almost 3%.
Ouch.
Yeah, and its weekly change is down nearly 6%. So, something to keep an eye on, especially when we talk about big tech investments.
Definitely relevant context. Now, before we dive into today's main topic, we really want to thank our sponsor, Old Glory.
Yes, we love Old Glory. If you're looking for awesome music, movie, or sports fan merchandise, seriously, their selection is incredible. Maybe thinking about holiday gifts already. Perfect for that techie friend.
Totally. They've got fantastic stuff. And here's the best part. You can get 15% off your entire purchase. Just use the promo code SNARFUL, that's SNARFUL, when you check out.
Check them out at oldglory.com. You won't regret it.
All right, let's get into it. Today's Morning Star Report is buzzing about one thing, OpenAI.
Yeah, it's all about their massive push for computing power. The scale is just mind-boggling.
It really is. We're seeing a huge infrastructure building spree. So, story number one, OpenAI is cozying up with Amazon Web Services, or AWS.
Right, and this is a big deal because historically, OpenAI has been almost exclusively tied to Microsoft Azure, wasn't it? Microsoft poured billions in.
Exactly. That exclusivity seems to be over. The report details a staggering $38 billion deal for OpenAI to buy compute capacity from AWS over several years.
$38 billion with AWS. Wow, what does that signal?
Well, it's their first contract with AWS, the cloud market leader. It signals, I think, a major step towards operational independence. They're still using Azure. Mind you, Microsoft has a massive $250 billion service line open for them.
Okay, so not abandoning Microsoft, but hedging their bets.
Diversifying.
Precisely. It shows operational maturity. They'll start running workloads on AWS immediately, using hundreds of thousands of Nvidia GPUs that AWS is providing as completely separate capacity.
Interesting phrasing. It is. And, CEO Sam Altman and CFO Sarah Fryer have hinted about a possible IPO. This kind of move securing independent infrastructure certainly looks like prep for that, demonstrating they aren't reliant on just one provider.
Makes sense. But isn't it a bit awkward? I mean, AWS has invested billions in Anthropic, OpenAI's big rival.
That's the really interesting nuance. Yes, they have. But this deal is huge for Amazon's AWS growth, especially while Microsoft and Google are showing faster cloud expansion rates overall. It seems the demand for AI compute is so intense right now, it trumps even those existing competitive ties. Capacity is king.
Capacity is king. Okay,
Yeah.
That leads perfectly into our second story. The chip wars are heating up. OpenAI isn't just diversifying clouds, they're diversifying chip suppliers too, right? With AMD.
Oh yeah, big time. OpenAI announced a massive partnership with AMD. We're talking over $95 billion.
$95 billion. Good grief. What are they getting for that?
They're securing 6 gigawatts of computing power over several years. This is a huge boost for AMD, which, let's be honest, has been trailing way behind Nvidia in the AI GPU market. Nvidia has, 90% market share.
Still. Wow. So AMD must be thrilled.
Absolutely. OpenAI will be using AMD's upcoming Instinct MI450 chips, which aren't even due until the second half of 2026. So they're locking this in well in advance.
And there's more to it than just buying chips, isn't there? Something about stock?
Right. This is key. OpenAI secured a warrant, basically, an option to buy up to 10% of AMD's common stock. That's around 160 million shares.
Whoa.
Yeah. And crucially, their ability to actually buy those shares depends on hitting certain targets, deployment targets for that compute power, and AMD share price targets.
So OpenAI basically gets a stake in AMD's success if they successfully use AMD's chips at scale.
Exactly. It ties their fates together. No wonder AMD shares jumped, almost 25% on the news?
Yeah, nearly 25%. Crazy. But let's be clear, this isn't about replacing Nvidia, is it? They still have that massive $100 billion deal with Nvidia.
No, definitely not replacing them. Every analyst perspective we saw basically says the whole AI world is just desperate for more compute. This is about survival and growth. They need chips from everyone. It highlights the urgent need for a multi-vendor supply chain because the demand is just outstripping supply.
Desperate for compute. That really sets the stage for our third story, which tries to quantify this desperation in terms of, well, actual power.
Yeah, the sheer scale. If you add up the AMD deal 6 gigawatts plus the existing Nvidia stuff, plus another new partnership with Broadcom for custom chips, OpenAI is locking in compute resources totaling at least 10 gigawatts, 10 GW.
Okay, wait. 10 gigawatts. Help me understand that number. What does that actually mean?
Hard to grasp. 10 gigawatts is enough electricity to power a large city. Or, put another way, about 8 million average U.S. households.
8 million homes just for OpenAI's operations.
That's the trajectory. We're talking about AI becoming a massive consumer of national energy resources. It's almost a geopolitical factor at this point.
That's staggering. Why such an exponential leap? Is it just inefficient models or what?
It's largely driven by the increasing complexity of the AI models themselves. You know, ChatGPT now has something like 800 million weekly users, which is huge.
Yeah.
But the next generation, things like Sora 2 for video generation, generating realistic video is orders of magnitude more power intensive than just processing text queries. And these newer models are apparently growing even faster in usage.
So more users doing much more complex tasks, that requires way more power.
Exactly. And this brings up those broader concerns you hear about AI's environmental footprint. The data centers needed for all this. Projections show they could consume up to 12% of total U.S. electricity by 2028.
12% up from what, about 4.4% in 2023?
That's right. It's a huge jump. And it explains why OpenAI is also doing deals like the one with Broadcom. They're trying to create custom chips, specialized hardware.
To be more efficient.
Partly, yes. To embed their model knowledge directly into the silicon, optimize performance. But it's also, maybe a scramble to manage this colossal energy demand before the power grid itself becomes the limiting factor.
A race against the grid. Wow. Okay, that is a lot to process. Before we wrap up, let's quickly thank another one of our sponsors.
Absolutely. We also want to thank Skoni.
Yes, Skoni. That's Skoni. They make premium golf shoes. If you're a golfer or no one, you should definitely check out their gear. Really top quality stuff.
And just like with Old Glory, you get a great deal using our code. Use promo code SNARFUL, SNARFUL at checkout for 15% off your entire purchase.
Find them at skoni.com. That's skoni.com.
Okay, so let's quickly recap the big takeaways from today's report on OpenAI's compute frenzy.
Let's do it.
First, that huge $38 billion AWS deal. It shows OpenAI diversifying away from just Microsoft Azure, signaling operational maturity, and maybe paving the way for an IPO.
Right. Independence is key there. Second, the massive $95 billion AMD partnership, complete with that stock warrant. It's not about replacing Nvidia, but highlights just how desperate the entire field is for more chip suppliers.
And finally, the sheer scale of power needed. We're talking 10 gigawatts, enough for a city or 8 million homes, driven by models like Sora 2. This raises huge questions about energy consumption and the environment, pushing companies towards custom hardware solutions.
So if one company needs the power of 8 million homes just for its AI, maybe the biggest question isn't just who builds the best AI, but how we're possibly going to power it all without everything else going dark. Something to chew on.
Definitely food for thought.
We're here to help at Snarful, so reach out on our website if you have any more questions.
That's a wrap on today's top stories. Remember, tech doesn't have to be complicated, and we're here to help connect the dots. If you've got questions or want to learn more, visit us at snarful.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time.